Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakha Kodash, and also as well double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. They continually rule very well to this very day. That is feeding the flock through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And also as well a Shalom to the Hof elect that's continually laboring this work, continuing to spread this gospel and this ministry to other members of the Hof elect in all faith, truth, and sincerity, and also in all charity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled The Preferred House. Okay, now, of course, if the Spirit has it to where I change the title of the video, then, of course, I'm going to change it. But I was meditating in the Spirit concerning, this scenario that the Lord has created here on the planet Earth. And, the Lord always has set two things against each other. And also as well, the Lord has always specified, certain things or certain places unto himself to be separated from the rest of the world. Okay, and the rest of the things that the Lord has no interest in. Okay, because the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, has always dealt with the holy. If you go into the word holy, which means in the Hebrew, which means kodash, it means to be separate. Okay, to be separated and to be consecrated and made clean. Okay, now when it comes to that, the Lord deals with the things that are separated, and that's why the Lord now in this time has separated a certain number of Israelites out of the nation of Israel, which are a part of the elect. Okay, and the Lord put a number down on it, which is 1/3. Okay, and the 2/3 have been separated out of that lot because the Lord has reserved the 1/3 unto salvation. Okay, that's the remnant that the Lord is dealing with. And again, the scriptures are always going to the remnant as well. But the key thing when it comes to the remnant is that that remnant belongs to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and the remnant has been separated, and that remnant belongs to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and that's who the Lord is dealing with right now. Okay, the Lord is no longer dealing with the whole nation of Israel. Now he's just dealing with an elect. Okay, and the rest of the nation of Israel would just have to be brought back on the other side. Okay, now how this plays in part to the house which the Lord prefers is that the Lord has taken possession of a certain house, which is the house of David. Okay, he preferred the house of David over the house of Saul. And that's why when you read throughout the scriptures, it always speaks about the house of David. Okay, because that's the house that the Lord has chosen. Okay, and now in this time, the Lord is about to redeem the house of David out of the earth. Okay, and the ones who are within the house of David are the elect. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the precepts I have here. Just go ahead and outline it some more. And first, I want to grab 2 Samuel chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 1, and just to explain further, is that concerning the house of David, the Lord right now is rebuilding the house of David. All right, and within the house of David comprised of all the tribes of the nation of Israel. All right, from the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Okay, and that rigorous rule that was taking place during that time when David's kingdom was established, that's going to be set up once again on the planet Earth. Okay, and when I say a rigorous rule or rulership, that was when we have all the nations under subjection. And guess what? The nations are going to be under subjection once again under the nation of Israel. Okay, so this is 2 Samuel chapter 3. This is at verse 1. It says, now there was long war between the house of Saul and the house of David. But David waxed stronger and stronger, and the house of Saul waxed weaker and weaker. Okay, now the question is the house of David back today? Yes, the house of David is back today. And also another thing, is the house of Saul back today? Yeah, the house of Saul is back. Okay, everybody is back to play their respective roles. And when you look at, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, when you look at the scenario that the Lord has created, you can see, who was a part, through the Spirit, you can see who was a part of the house of David and the house of Saul. Okay, because the house of Saul has rebelled against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, because if you read through the history, when you read through the scriptures concerning King Saul, you see that it was a rebellious house. Okay, and the Lord chose the house of David unto himself. Okay, in which if you go into the name David in the Hebrew is Dawadah, which means beloved. Okay, so in the house of David you have the elect, which are the beloved. Okay, and the scriptures also go into that as well. All right, it always deems the brethren that have given themselves over to the truth and believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. In that time, especially in the New Testament, when it was under the Roman captivity, all right, you had ones that believed in Yahushai, all right, and they were known as the beloved. Okay, so likewise today, you have certain of the nation of Israel that believes in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai wholeheartedly. Okay, and guess what? They are a part of the house of David. Okay, so I'll move on from there. So that hits the point that basically in this time, just like what happened during the time of when there was war going on between the house of Saul and the house of David waxed stronger. All right, so the same thing applies today. Okay, the house of David is once again waxing stronger through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Okay, it's the Lord's will for the house of David to prevail. All right, and the house of David is going to prevail valiantly. All right, but there's another scripture I want to grab real quick. It's like you. All right, it's the book of Isaiah, chapter 22. And this is at verse Slakia. Yeah, I'm starting at verse 22, get straight to the point. It says, and the key of the house of David will I lay upon his shoulder, so he shall open, and none shall shut, and he shall shut, and none shall open. Okay? Now the key to the house of David, all right, was given to who? Yahushai. All right? Because you read in the scripture as well, it says about how Yahushai and the door, in which he's the only one that can open and close that door. All right. Now, there's another scripture that speaks about the key of David as well, And let me go ahead and grab that real quick. So it's the book of Revelation, chapter 3. And it's at verse 7. It says, and to the angel of the church in Philadelphia write. And that word Philadelphia, in the Greek, it means brotherly love. Okay? So the church, so literally you would read it as the church of brotherly love. Okay? And what did the scripture tells you what love is? What is love according to the scriptures? What What does the Bible define as love? Let's get it. All right, it's 2 John chapter 1. And it's at verse 6. It says, and this is love. So this is the definition of love. All right. It's not the love that these people conceive in this modern day world, you know, that bubbly feeling that you get in the pit of your stomach towards somebody or something, right? It says, and this is love, that we walk after his commandments, that as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. All right. And mind you, it says, and this is the commandment that you have heard from the beginning. Okay. Now, what was the main commandment that Yahweh Shai pushed when he was in the flesh? All right. First and foremost, it was to love Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. And the second is like unto it. Okay. And what was the second one? To love thy neighbor as thyself. All right. And when the scriptures go into the word neighbor, that word neighbor translates into brother. Okay. Now, to go further into it, you know, I'm not going to deviate too far from the subject, but let's see, slacking. Right here, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 48. Get straight to the point. It says, but he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren? Okay. Verse 29, and he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. All right. So these are the brothers. All right. And also as well, they are indeed a part of the nation of Israel. Okay. Because the Israelites are the ones who have the service pursuant to the book of Romans. When the Apostle Paul spoke of the nation of Israel being his brother and his kinsman according to the flesh. All right. Romans, the 9th chapter. All right. So how do we show love according to the scriptures towards the ones that are of our nation? By doing this work. That's how we show love. All right. By doing this work, by teaching, by bringing out these videos, going out in the highways and byways. This is how we show love towards our neighbors, like the scriptures say. And thus fulfilling the law. All right. So you see these other Israelite camps, they always push the law this and the law that you got to keep 100% of the law. But they're not paying attention to the main commandments and the main laws that the Lord pushed, the Lord Yahweh Shai pushed, which was the two that I just listed off. All right, but let me go ahead and jump back to the scripture in Revelations. Revelation chapter 3, and this is at verse 7 again. It says, unto the church, or the angel of the church in Philadelphia, write, these things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David. Right, so like I mentioned earlier in the other scripture concerning the key of David in the book of Isaiah, and Yahweh Shai having that key, right? It says, he that hath the key of David, he that openeth, and no man shutteth, and shutteth, and no man openeth. I know thy works, behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. And we have not denied the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. That's why we continually declare that name. And that's why we get on these other Israelite accounts about the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai. All right. So if you deny the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, then you more than likely you're not a part of the church of Philadelphia, which the church that, by the way, the Lord has no issues with at all. all the other churches, the Lord always had something, he has something to deal with them, or, he has something against them. But when you read about the Church of Philadelphia, the Lord didn't have anything against this church. All right. And it says here that concerning the key of David, which is dealing with the Church of Philadelphia. All right. So again, in verse 8, it says, I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. See that? So again, concerning the Church of Philadelphia, the Church of Brotherly Love, all right, that also ties right into the house of David, all right, which is, again, the house that the Lord is dealing with, all right. So you would do well to be a part of this church and a part of the house of David, okay? And also as well, the Lord has also set men to be out in the highways and byways and to teach this word. And these men, these same men that you see, are the forerunners. Okay, starting with the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, on down to the rest of the brothers that are also teaching this word in sincerity and truth. All right. So I'll move on from there. I'm gonna grab one last precept and just describe what's mentioned earlier about the Lord rebuilding the house of David. And, we always get this scripture, and this scripture, really hits home. It shows you that the Lord is building back up that same rulership, in which during that time, that's when King Solomon came into power. King Solomon was born, all right, and then after all those wars were fought and the throne of David was established, all right, then came the rulership of King Solomon, which we all know who King Solomon was in the reincarnation, if you can receive it. All right. That's when Israel was at peace. All the other nations was under our subjection. All right. The throne of David was established. All right. And we was in our power. So the Lord is building that same structure once again. Okay. And he's doing it by the same house. The same house that the Lord has chosen. Okay. So I'm gonna grab it. This is Amos chapter 9, verse 11. It says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise it up, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Okay. So during the days of old, when the house of David was built, again, we had the nations under our subjection. All right. Everything was in order. Okay. And Israel, and then there was a time of peace when our King Solomon came into rulership, right? And we dwelt safely. So we're coming into that time once again, to where the Lord is now going to allow us to dwell safely once again in our power, right? And that's going to be a continual rulership. There's going to be no more other nations going to rise up into power, and the earth is no longer going to languish ever again through the rulerships of those different nations. All right. And it's going to be continual peace. All right. And we're getting very close to that day. And it's only a matter of time before Yahweh Shai returns and brings that into existence. All right. It's already been written. Okay. It's already been written. All right. The scene has been laid out. We got the script. All right. We read the scenario. We read what was going to happen. All right. And which indeed it is going to happen. And now we're just waiting for it to happen. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end off on that note. Lord's will is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Until next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash, and our double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that continually rule very well to this very day. And also as well, shalom, peace of safety, and salutations to the whole elect that's continually laboring his work, and also do labor to show forth your diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, in truth, sincerity, and all charity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.